Here's something most people don't want to hear. Being smart with money has almost nothing to do with how much money you earn. I've spent 15 years studying wealth accumulation, and I've noticed a pattern. The wealthiest people I know aren't always the highest earners. Many of them earn ordinary incomes, but they have something in common. They all display a consistent set of behaviors that separate them from everyone else financially. Today, I'm going to share the 10 signs that you're genuinely smart with money. Not just lucky, not just high earning, smart. If you recognize these behaviors in yourself, you're on the right track. If not, by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what you need to implement. Let's dive in. Sign 1. You have a 3 to 6 month emergency fund. The first sign you're smart with money is that you have an emergency fund covering 3 to 6 months of living expenses. This is foundational. Without an emergency fund, you're one unexpected crisis away from making poor financial decisions. Your car breaks down, your furnace fails, you lose your job. Suddenly you're in panic mode. You raid investment accounts, you accumulate debt, you make decisions you wouldn't normally make. An emergency fund is different from regular savings. It's completely separate. It's untouchable for non-emergencies. It's your financial airbag. Let me be specific about why 3 to 6 months. 3 months covers most emergencies: car repairs, medical expenses, temporary job loss. 6 months provides additional safety, particularly if you're self-employed or work in an unstable industry. Most people should target 6 months. The math is simple. If your monthly expenses are $3,000, your emergency fund target is between $9,000 and $18,000. That money sits in a high-yield savings account, earning 3 to 5%, completely separate from your regular checking account. It's accessible, but not convenient. That separation prevents you from raiding it for non-emergencies. Here's what I've observed. People with emergency funds make better financial decisions. They don't panic sell investments during market downturns. They don't accept bad job situations out of desperation. They don't accumulate credit card debt because of unexpected expenses. The emergency fund creates psychological safety. Sign 2. You have a budget system. The second sign is that you have a budget system, not a budget you ignore. A system you actually use. Most people hate budgets. They see them as restrictive, as punishment. But a budget isn't about restriction. It's about awareness. It's about knowing where your money goes. Smart people with money know their numbers. They know their income. They know their fixed expenses: housing, utilities, insurance. They know their variable expenses: groceries, entertainment, transportation. They know where money leaks out. The specific system doesn't matter. Some people use detailed spreadsheets tracking every transaction. Some people use apps like YNAB or Personal Capital. Some people use simple categories on paper. The specific method is less important than consistency and honesty. What matters is that you're paying attention. You're intentional. You're not spending money unconsciously. Most people spend about 20% more than they think because of unconscious spending. Small purchases that add up, subscriptions they forgot about, habits that drain cash. A budget creates visibility. Visibility creates power. Sign 3. You save consistently. The third sign is that you save consistently. Every month, every paycheck, automatically. Smart people don't save what's left over after spending. They spend what's left over after saving. The structure is different. It's reversed. And that reversal changes everything. Consistency is more important than amount. Someone saving $50 monthly is smarter with money than someone trying to save $500 irregularly. Consistency builds habits. Habits build wealth. Most financial experts recommend saving at least 10 to 20% of your income. But honestly, starting somewhere is what matters. 10% is excellent. 15% is outstanding. Even 5% is better than zero. The key is automation. Automatic transfer from checking to savings on payday. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to find willpower. It happens automatically. People who automate savings succeed. People who don't usually fail. Sign 4. You invest for the long term. The fourth sign is that you invest for the long term, not chase short-term returns. Smart money. People understand compound interest. They understand that time is their greatest asset. They invest in diversified portfolios, usually index funds, and leave them alone. They don't try to time the market. They don't chase hot stocks. They don't panic during downturns. This is crucial. They understand the difference between investing and trading. Investing is buying quality assets and holding them for decades. Trading is buying and selling frequently, trying to beat the market. Studies consistently show that investors beat traders. Long-term beats short-term. When the market drops 20%, smart money people either don't care because they're not retiring for decades, or they get excited because prices are lower. They understand volatility is normal and irrelevant over time. Sign 5. You have multiple streams of income. The fifth sign is that you have multiple streams of income. Most people have one income source, their job. When that income stops, everything stops. You're vulnerable. You're dependent. Smart money people diversify their income. Maybe they have their primary job plus a side business, or their job plus dividend income from investments, or multiple part-time roles, or passive income from digital products or rental properties. The specific mix varies, but the principle is consistent. Multiple sources. This creates security. If your job ends, you still have other income flowing. It creates confidence. It creates leverage. It's a sign that you're thinking beyond the single income model. Sign 6. You live below your means. The sixth sign is that you live below your means, consistently. This is where most people fail. They earn money. They spend it all. Often they spend more than they earn through credit cards and loans. They upgrade their lifestyle as their income increases. They spend money to impress people they don't care about with things they don't need. Smart money people do the opposite. They intentionally keep their spending lower than their income. They drive older cars. They live in modest apartments or houses. They wear regular clothes. They don't obsess over status symbols. This creates a critical gap. The difference between income and expenses. That gap is where wealth is built. It's where investments come from. It's where emergency funds come from. It's where financial security comes from. Sign 7. You track your spendings. The seventh sign is that you actively track your spending. This connects to budgeting but goes deeper. Tracking is granular. It's knowing exactly where money goes, not just broad categories but specific purchases. Smart money people don't spend hundreds monthly without knowing what they spent it on. They know their coffee spending. They know their subscription costs. They know their entertainment expenses. They know where money leaks. Why does this matter? Because you can't optimize what you don't measure. If you don't know you're spending $150 monthly on subscriptions you don't use, you can't change it. Once you see it, you can cut it. Tracking takes work initially but becomes habitual. Apps make it easier, but the habit is what matters. Sign 8. You have minimal to no debt. The eighth sign is that you have minimal to no debt. Ideally, none. There's good debt and bad debt. Mortgage debt for a house you'll live in for years is different from credit card debt for impulse purchases. But generally, less debt is better than more debt. Smart money people understand that debt is a liability that reduces their options. High debt means high monthly obligations. High obligations mean less financial flexibility. Less flexibility means less freedom. They pay off high-interest debt aggressively. Credit cards, personal loans, car loans above reasonable amounts. They might carry a mortgage because mortgages are cheap debt and houses appreciate, but even that they pay down intentionally. The psychological benefit is substantial. Low debt means lower monthly obligations. Lower obligations mean less stress. Less stress means better decision-making. Better decision-making means more wealth accumulation. Sign 9. You have diversified assets. The ninth sign is that you have a diversified set of assets. Smart money people don't put all their money in one place. They don't have everything in stocks. They don't have everything in real estate. They don't have everything in cryptocurrencies. They spread risk across different asset classes. A typical diversified portfolio might include stock market investments, index funds, real estate, primary residence, rental properties or REITs, bonds for stability, and potentially alternative investments. The specific mix depends on age, timeline, and risk tolerance, but the principle is consistent: diversification. Diversification protects you from catastrophic loss. If one asset class declines, others might be stable or growing. You're protected against any single sector collapse or industry downturn. Sign 10. You set financial goals. The 10th sign is that you set specific financial goals and work toward them intentionally. Vague desires don't create wealth. I want to be rich isn't a goal. I want to accumulate $500,000 by age 50 is a goal. Specific, measurable, achievable, time-bound. Smart money people have goals written down. They review them regularly. They adjust them as circumstances change. They track progress. Goals create direction. Direction creates intentional decisions. Examples of good financial goals: emergency fund of $15,000 by end of year. Pay off credit card debt by next year. Reach $100,000 invested by age 35. Generate $500 per month passive income by age 50. Save 20% of income this year. Goals make abstract concepts concrete. They create accountability. They create motivation. Let me be honest. Implementing all 10 signs is challenging, but it's absolutely achievable. Most of them require awareness and discipline, not luck or special talent. Here's a simple assessment. Count how many of the 10 signs apply to you right now. 9 or 10, you're in excellent shape. Your financial future is secure. You're compounding wealth. 7 or 8, you're ahead of most people. You have the fundamentals. 5 or 6, you're average financially, but implementing a few more signs will accelerate your progress. 3 or 4, you have work to do, but it's absolutely doable. Most people at this level can reach 7 or 8 within 2 years with focus. The signs aren't arbitrary. They're based on patterns. People who implement these consistently build wealth. People who don't generally don't. If you want to improve your financial position, here's what to do. Step 1. Assess where you stand. Count which signs apply to you. Write them down. Step 2. Identify the gap. Which signs are you missing? Pick the one that would have the biggest impact for you personally. Step 3. Implement aggressively. If it's the emergency fund, build it first. If it's budgeting, start this week. If it's investments, open an account and make your first contribution this month. Step 4. Automate. Whatever you implement, automate it. Automatic transfers, automatic contributions, automatic tracking. Reduce reliance on willpower. Step 5. Track progress quarterly. Every 3 months, assess. Are you maintaining the new behavior? What's working? What needs adjustment? The people who become truly smart with money aren't smarter than you. They're not luckier. They're disciplined about implementing systems and maintaining them over years. That's it. Let me crystallize the core message. Being smart with money is primarily behavioral, not situational. It's not about earning a lot. It's about consistent smart decisions compounding over time. The 10 signs represent a complete financial system. When you implement them together, they create psychological security, reduce financial stress, and enable wealth building. Starting anywhere is better than perfect waiting. Begin with whichever sign feels most relevant and build from there. These signs aren't about restriction or deprivation. They're about intentionality. They're about making conscious choices instead of unconscious habits. The payoff is substantial. 5 to 10 years of implementing these signs creates a financial position that took most people decades to build, if they built it at all. If this content was valuable, I'd appreciate it if you subscribe to this channel. I release new content every week on building wealth, financial discipline, and achieving financial independence. Subscribe so you don't miss it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.